Alright guys, I'm back again, this time with a quick review on the Ryobi RYi1000 inverter generator. So I've had this guy for just under a month now. I've put 23 hours on it, and so far I really like the unit. It's very efficient, it's very quiet, it produces clean power, and it's also very lightweight. So this guy comes in around 35 pounds. That's significantly less than a lot of the other generators I have, especially my full-size traditional generators, which most people end up buying as their first generator. You know, anything from 3,000 to 5,000 watts that costs a couple $100, maybe about $300-400. That's usually what people buy during power outages or in preparation for a power outage, and those are good for your first-time generator to run heavy things like air conditioners, refrigerators, space heaters, and large pumps such as a sump pump or a well pump. Now, once you start using generators for a while and you start to tally up how much you're spending on gas, you start to look at inverter generators, because the advantage to them is that they're very, very efficient because they can idle down. They can idle down to a low RPM, whereas a traditional style generator cannot. It has to run at 3,600 RPMs in order to maintain 60 Hertz. Now, because this guy and other inverter generators have that power inverter technology in them, they can run at whatever RPM they need to maintain a load and still be able to maintain 60 Hertz and anywhere from 115 to 120 volts. So with this guy, it absolutely does that. I measured all my voltages and my frequency with every single load that I had, and you'll see that in the demo videos later on. And this guy constantly maintains 60 Hertz, no matter if the load was heavy or light, if it was being run through a 75-foot or 100-foot long extension cord. This always put out good frequency as well as good voltage. The lowest voltage I saw, and you will experience some voltage drop with longer runs of extension cords such as 100-foot. What I was seeing is only around 118 volts, which is only a couple of volts off from where it normally is. So very, very good power output, very efficient. It's pure sine wave. I was even able to run one of these very sensitive LED bulbs, which are known not to run well off of modified sine wave inverters or traditional style generators, because they just don't put out pure sine wave power. This light bulb absolutely ran perfectly off of this generator. So let's go over some of the features here really quick. Obviously on this side you have everything you need to start the unit. You have your choke, you have your on switch, you have your starter string. Also on this side you have your access panel for your oil as well as your air filter. Up top here we have the carry handle and our fuel vent cap, which has an on and off for transferring it without spilling fuel. Up front here we have our ports. We have our DC port, which is very nicely regulated at 14.5 volts. Sometimes these are anywhere from 20 to 30 volts, and they might overcharge a battery. This guy's a little bit safer. It has its own circuit breaker. Below that we have a single North American style power outlet with a dust cover. We have a bank of LEDs indicating power, overload, as well as low oil. We also have our auto idle switch on and off, and below that we have our grounding terminal. On the other side we have access to the spark plug, and at the back we have a little spark arrestor over the tailpipe near the exhaust side. So what I'm going to do now is show you guys what this unit is capable of with my demo videos, and then we'll come back and give you my final thoughts. So enjoy the videos. So my chuck wasn't tight enough, but we ended up using about 600 watts. Generator handled it just fine. Next we've got our recip saw. More important to look at the watts here. So fine. Alright, so we've got our 3 amp hedge trimmer, perfectly within the parameters of this generator. This is what I use all the time, at least once a week. That works perfectly fine. Alright, so finally, at least before doing the fridge, we have our large overload. This is rated for 12 amps of power, and I don't know if it's going to run or not, but we'll see if this will run. So, as you see there, it ran for a second. Our overload light is on. And that's what I expect. That's well over the generator's rating. It will not run things well over its rating. It has a safety. And I'm actually glad it did that, because in some cases, some generators, more traditional ones, allow you to overload them. You can damage the wiring for the plug in the generator, as well as the windings in the engine. So to reset this guy, we just have to restart the engine. So let's go ahead and test the fridge out. Alright guys, so to test if this machine is strong enough to run a fridge, and this is a pretty large one. This is a 25 cubic foot side-by-side refrigerator freezer, and the stickers back there. I don't know if you guys can read anything off of that, but saying its size and everything up there, I can't really see with the fridge off for testing purposes. But what we're going to do is run the fridge on the generator on about a 75 foot long cord. So it's running, put it in eco mode. Let's go back in here. See there? Of course, the same compressor is running. And we've got light, got cold air coming through. The lights on the fridge are incandescent. They pull a couple 100 watts themselves, so even in eco mode, it's not overloading. The freezer's on, as you can see. And out there, it was pulling about 145 watts. This fridge tends to pull between 145 and 190 depending on what I'm using. If I'm using a modified sine wave power inverter off a battery, it tends to pull about 190. But since this generator is giving you very clean power, it operates more efficiently, and it just works out well. So yes, it will run a fridge. Alright guys, so as you can see, this generator runs a lot of things for a small size. It can run a 25 cubic inch side-by-side fridge. It can run various power tools as long as they're 7.5 amps or less. Obviously, you're not going to be able to run a 12 amp blower or a 12 amp circular saw, but it still runs a lot of things that people in construction or do-it-yourselfers would commonly run around the house. It's also a very, very fuel efficient generator. Over my testing, I've run it for 23 hours. I've burned no more than 1.5 gallons of fuel. As a matter of fact, the first tank of fuel lasted 12 hours and 11 minutes, and that was with intermittent small loads between 100 and 300 watts. So, very efficient generator, very reliable. It also comes with a excellent warranty at 3 years residential. And that's all coming in at a very low price. This is currently a sub $400 generator, which is just unheard of with that warranty, these specs, and this overall reliability. So I definitely recommend this generator. I've enjoyed reviewing it for just about the past month. I do want to go ahead and thank the good folks over at the TTI group for sending this over for review. I didn't buy this generator. It was actually sent for me for an unbiased review. I'm not getting paid for a review or anything like that. They just wanted me to give my honest opinion, just like I have. So, as always guys, thanks for watching this video. If you have any questions, leave a comment below. If you guys want to see the unedited footage on YouTube of me testing all the various loads, go ahead and look in the description. You'll find those there. If you are on the Home Depot's website and you want to see those videos as well, go ahead and type into Google or YouTube emergency item reviews, which is my secondary channel, and you should be able to find those videos. So as always, guys, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys later. Peace.